Welcome back to The Inspired Entrepreneur with Heather Hope. Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Heather Hope with The Inspired Entrepreneur. How how is your week going so far? What is today? Tuesday. Yes. Oh my God, I've had such a difficult time today trying to figure out what day it is and what day tomorrow is, and then what day. Like, it's been weird. So what I discovered recently, like in the last couple of weeks, we've had, excuse me, we've had a couple of overcast days. Okay, let me know where you're from and if you have a lot of overcast days. Okay, so I'm in Arizona. I was born and raised in Phoenix, Valley of the Sun. It's sunny all the time, which, okay, it's fine. It's really, 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 really hot in the summer, but it doesn't rain very often at all. Our monsoon season, which is usually we get hit hard for rain in August, did not show up at all. Like, not at all. Like, nothing, which is the first time in my life. So, anyhow, my point was the day I've noticed towards the end of the day of an overcast day, I have literally done nothing and I've been like completely out of it. And it's so funny. It's like I feel like I absolutely have to have sun outside to function. It's really such a weird phenomenon over here because it's always like, if you're ever curious, so we're talking like Phoenix metro area. I mean, I live about an hour outside of Phoenix, but same thing essentially. It's just always clear blue skies, either a few beautiful, fluffy white clouds or none, and a sun. That's what we have every single day. Like every single day. How nice is that? I know people in England, they're like cursing at me right now hearing this. I know Seattle, like I couldn't, like, and we love rain. Of course we love rain because we know we never have it. But these overcast days with no rain, it's like, what the hell is that? It's like weird. I don't know. It's just recently I've been like, I realize I can't function on those days. It's really strange. I love rain though. But anyhow, so that was our day. That was my day. Let's just say my day. Okay, let's jump into it. If you're new here, welcome. As always, this podcast is a daily podcast and it's based off of my book, The Inspired Entrepreneur. Let me know if you've received your book yet. The link for Amazon is somewhere around this podcast, however you're listening to it. But it's a daily book. And so you can either like flip to a random page and the universe will give you the perfect message, or you can just go day by day. And it's inspiration for the entrepreneur. So here we go. It's law of attraction basically for business, money, stuff like that. Okay, so let's jump into today. Today is January 19th. And here is your message. The secret is to focus on where you're going rather than where you've been or where you are. Tip the scales of where your focus is directed. Okay, so we talk about focus all the time, but I like how I worded this. The secret is to focus on where you're going, rather than where you've been or where you are. Okay, so when you focus on where you're going, you know, you're in alignment with your inner being, with your broader perspective. You're in alignment with it, with that, because your inner being, source, all of that is focused on where you want to be, right? So when you focus, so when I catch myself focusing on what's going on now that I don't like, or what's happened in the past that I don't like, and I do this daily, guys. I'm human. Completely trying to break all of these habits just like you guys. I've done a really good job, but there's some things that I'm like, I was thinking today, I was going through my hard drive, deleting a lot of stuff that I've saved this past year that I don't need to save. And like thinking back at something that I just stopped doing recently. And when I think about it, I get a little bit of sadness and kind of resentfulness and just kind of it's I don't know. It's tough. I put a lot of my mind and a lot of creating on something that in my mind just didn't really work. But more and more I understand why. But now, when I think about that, it's like I have these feelings about it, these thoughts and these feelings about it. And so I have to reframe it and move on. Like that's all I can do because there's nothing else I can do, right? Reframe, move on. Move on, meaning moving on, meaning move on to the next subject. Like that's all you have to do is move on to the next subject. So like, where can I put my mind on now? Where am I going? So then I put myself back in, oh, I have a podcast to do. Let's focus on that because that is a better feeling thought. So, I think it was while I was waiting for dinner, I did all the graphics for the podcast for the next week and scheduled it and all of that stuff. So I have like all this, process to keep it as simple as possible since it's a daily podcast. And keep up with it. So anyhow, tip the scales on where your focus is directed. So when you catch yourself focusing on something right now that you're not quite liking, switch your focus, your thoughts on where you're going. Like where are you headed? It could be just to write your to-do list for tomorrow. Like I do that sometimes. I typically do it in the morning, but if I really have things that I need to get done the next day or want to or whatever, I'll do that because I always have a running list every single day. I have a list of things that I'm going to do that day. And I usually complete them unless something is keeping me from it. But I love checking things off and I love, progressing. I was one of my close friends for many, many years. Something came for her in the mail, and I had asked her, because she lives in Vegas, I had asked her if she wants me to just throw it in the mail or are they going to come down anytime soon down to Phoenix. And it took her like a day. I checked back in with her. And she's like, well, I guess, yeah, if you can put it in the mail. I'm like, okay, cool. I was on my way out the door to go run my errands. I think I had already said this, whenever it was yesterday. And oh no, it was like last minute thinking of, I really didn't feel like doing anything yesterday. I'm talking about Sunday, I guess. And like, it was one of those days. And the only thing I could think of was, I really have been looking for my paper clips because I've moved several times. I've gotten rid of like everything I own. And then everything else is in boxes and I don't know where anything is. And so I've been needing paper clips and it's such a simple thing. But all I could think was I want to go down to the next town, like 40 miles down the road to Dollar Tree. That's all I could think about. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'm gonna go. So I get in the car and I just go. But as I'm packing my purse, I grab the envelope that I stuck her mail in a new envelope and addressed it as much as I could, just in case she wanted it mailed. And so I was getting another thing ready to mail, and so I put it in my purse. And so on the way down there, she got back to me and she said, yeah, if you can mail it to me, that'd be great. I'm like, okay, cool. Give me your address. And I said, I'm heading down now to the post office and I'm going to get it stamped up, whatever. So it was probably 20 minutes later, maybe 30 at the most. And I write back to her, I'm like, done. And she's just floored because she and I used to be very similar, like not getting anything done, being massive procrastinators, depressed, all those things where you just don't get anything done and it takes you forever to do everything. I used to be that person, 100%. But now so I sent her that. She's like, oh my God, because it was like so quick, right? I actually got something done. And she's just like, she put in parentheses, like, how does she do it all? And it was a great compliment for me. And I'm like, I wrote back to her, I'm like, I really enjoy the feeling of the sense of accomplishment. That's why I get a lot more things done now. I just love it. I love, having more things to do. Like that sounds bad, but having things to do and then actually getting them done quickly. Like I love that. I don't always love doing the things depending on what they are, but I love getting things done. And so she's just like floored that I'm on top of everything now. Because she knew me back, 25 years ago when, I slept until noon and was depressed. So getting literally nothing done. So anyway, there's hope, right? So the secret is to focus on where you're going rather than where you've been or where you are. Tip the scales of where your focus is directed. So just keep redirecting, redirect. It's just like GPS. I love this analogy of you put in GPS where you're going, right? So think of your life just like GPS. Like I am going here. Like I'm going to become this, or this is what my future looks like. And you just keep going. And if you take a turn that's not heading in your direction, GPS just recalculates, right? And redirects you. So, okay, get back on the freeway, turn around, get back on the freeway and keep heading in the direction of where you're going. That's it. And I love that Abraham says that GPS doesn't yell at you of like, hey, stop being stupid and get back on the freeway. You made the wrong turn. And you know what I mean? It's like, so just redirect yourself, redirect your thoughts to the direction that you're heading. That's it. That's it. So I'm going to leave that for today because occasionally we need short and sweet. And occasionally we're going to be talking forever, right? Okay. I'm going to get going because it's getting a little late. And I definitely want to get this uploaded quickly as possible while I have really good internet right now. So have an amazing rest of your day, and I will be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.